Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Tim Braden, Second Legacy. You are amazing. And oh, do we have a clip for you today from CNN. This is actually real. They are actually saying this on CNN. You guys are going to love every second of this because apparently there's some undercurrents that they need to really talk about in the Democrat Party from ignoring Shapiro for the VP bid. Oh, this is going to be delicious, and please send this one out. Of course, we've got sarcasm and humor deployed en masse perfectly for the 2A, so make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Tim, are you ready for some very uncomfortable conversation from CNN?
Yeah, it's always fun when CNN has random acts of journalism.
Well, I don't even think this is a random act of journalism. I think you're going to see the body language on this. I cannot wait for you to see Chris Acosta's way he pitches this. So we're just going to dive right into it. But I will tell you, the overlying topic here is a very uncomfortable question that the Democrats are starting to realize and the media is starting to realize about why Harris did not pick Shapiro out of Pennsylvania for her VP pick, because that's the whole topic of this conversation. With that setup, watch Acosta. This is so great.
Sour grapes here, and that Shapiro is not going to offer his full support.
Look, Josh Shapiro is a class act from beginning to end. He's a rising star in this party. He's done an extraordinary job. He gets Republican votes, independent votes, moderate votes. Smurfs vote for him. Muppets vote for him. I mean, the guy is a vote magnet, and there's a reason for that. He is a class act. He's a true American, and he's going to show up. And he's going.
Do you think it was a little risky though, Van, that she didn't go with Shapiro to kind of lock down Pennsylvania? I mean, yes, David Challenger was saying earlier, just because you pick him as your running mate doesn't mean you automatically win Pennsylvania. But I got to think it would have helped just a little bit.
Hey, listen.
Okay, stop it real quick. So, Tim, did you catch how uncomfortable he is? Even Acosta is going. This is doesn't it kind of make sense? Maybe I don't know, Josh Shapiro, Pennsylvania. You kind of needed it. Why?
Yeah. Yeah. It is uncomfortable because I watched all of this lead up to to where we are, and I think people universally agree that Shapiro was the concern, right? Because he is well spoken, he is popular in his state, and he does bring to the table things that most presidential candidates would want on the ticket if they're trying to win. And so for them to turn their back on Shapiro, they had to have a really powerful reason to them to turn their backs on him. Right. And that powerful reason, he's a Jew.
It's so screwed up. This is the same party, Tim. Remember, did you bring your white bucket of privilege, your bucket of white privilege?
Yeah.
Can't
Right.
have that.
I have to go get it out of the Yucatan Mountain or whatever, where it's buried.
Yucca Mountain.
Yucca Mountain, yeah.
Yeah. So, and the thing that I want to touch on real quick, they are talking about a potential VP candidate from a swing state, and Van Jones, the guy on the right, that is a Democratic person who is always on the talk shows, always on CNN, he is always towing the party line. And he literally said the words, Smurfs will vote for him, minorities will vote for him, everyone will vote for him. They love him. He's a class act. No one doesn't vote for him, so we didn't pick him.
Yeah.
That's an odd approach. Okay. Maybe there's more here. So let's continue in this clip and listen to what he says. It's a very fascinating thing.
Yes, David Challenger was saying earlier, just because you pick him as your running mate doesn't mean you automatically win Pennsylvania. But I got to think it would have helped just a little bit.
Hey, listen, the conservatives, the right wing, the Republicans, they were chewing their fingernails down to the knuckle because they were afraid of a Josh Shapiro. They were afraid of a Mark Kelly. They're not as afraid of this new governor because they think they can define him. So here's the challenge you've got in this party. And people don't want to talk about it. We got to talk about it. On the one hand, you have a lot of young people who are concerned about Gaza. You have a lot of Muslims and Arabs and others. They have not felt seen by the Biden administration. You start hearing that genocide joke. That was building. And so those folks needed to have a candidate that they could feel comfortable with. This helps them in that regard. But you also have anti-Semitism that has gotten marbled into this party. You can be for the Palestinians without being an anti-Jewish bigot, but there are some anti-Jewish bigots out there. And there's some disquiet now, and there has to be. How much of what just happened is caving into some of these darker parts in the party? So that's going to have to get worked out. It's going to have to get talked through. But I tell you what.
All right, dude, can you believe he's saying this?
The darker part of the party. Look, I've been pointing this out since they glossed over Shapiro. I was making fun of the Krassenstein brothers because they were all about Shapiro, and then immediately when
all of a sudden
they're like, forgot about him, just like Biden. We're riding with Biden. Oh, he's out. Kamala's in. We love. Yeah, it's just like it's amazing how fast their loyalties shift. But I've been saying this all along. They dumped him because of his ethnicity.
Yes,
and
they did.
And like he said, look, it goes. It's more broad than just disagreeing with him politically. It's outright bigotry that the Democrats are grappling with right now. Because
absolutely.
And what's interesting to me is this pro-Hamas vote that they're chasing. How big is that vote? If they're doing any type of focus group, and this just isn't them just being complete morons and just guessing their way through this process, assuming that they've done some background research, they've done some polling, they've done some deep dive into figuring out who's voting for who and for what reason. Is there really that many Democrats that are pro-Hamas that they would do something like this? Or are they chasing 1% of the vote?
So here's my speculation on this. Here's my speculation. You are absolutely correct. They have absolutely assigned a quantifiable number to this. 100% they have. But a little important thing, a few important pieces you have to know about this. The Democrats live and die by the youth vote. Live and die. If the youth vote does not turn up, they cannot win. It's very similar to the black vote. They cannot win if the black vote does not show up. They have all of these little coalitions that they have to activate and motivate to go vote. If they do not do it, they lose. So in this scenario, where you're talking about the Hamas portion of the party, I think it's highly concentrated in the younger vote, which is what they are hyper focused on. If you look at the media campaigns, if you look at the Twitter pouring out of money into the actual propaganda wing of the apparatus, if you look at the way they're branding Kamala Harris as that's so brat and all that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm 38. I actually know what culture is and pop culture. I have no clue what brat is. So that's like 18 to 19 to 20. I mean, that is like that small little contingent. But that also coincides with the Gaza is being occupied, occupiers, river to the sea, Palestine will be free, all those people. I think it's a big portion of a small portion of a big subset. That's what I think they're doing.
Yeah. Would you just fall out of a coconut tree? And then we're going to make everything a big coconut, including the New York Magazine front cover.
Bro,
it's so childish. It is so childish.
So bad.
But they are courting people with underdeveloped brains, children. I mean, because by the time
I love that you said that and you backed it up and you got away with it because it's totally true.
It's true. I mean, seriously, it's like my puppy. I'm training a puppy, right? He has puppy brain. He's not developed. He doesn't understand how to behave yet. And the same thing with children. They're idealistic and stupid when they're young, and they support things like terrorist organizations called Hamas. But when they get older, start paying taxes, get a job, and get out into the real world, their politics generally shift. Unless they're lifetime students and they, wind up being in college until they're 50, which there's a group that does do that. But that's why they court children. That's why they want to reduce the voting age to like 15, because they want the dumb vote. They need the dumb vote because
they've got it.
Yeah.
Because don't worry, Tim, they didn't go from the natural person who everyone likes, who everyone loves. No, we can't do that. That might upset the Gaza portion of Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh God. If this, mark my words right here, Tim, if this falls apart and they don't win, there is going to be a reckoning in the Democrats like you have never seen.
Yeah, there needs to be
Oh my God. First off, you put Kamala Harris in with no votes and no nothing. You just installed her. Then she picks someone who is not the right choice because she doesn't want to pick someone who's Jewish American. And then they lose?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be.
The party of democracy. They're so into democracy that they don't even want to vote anymore. They just let the party assign their dictator.
It's so insane. All right, let's wrap this clip up real quick. There's more.
You have a Josh Shapiro who says, you know what? I give this my stamp. I give this my support. I believe in this ticket. That's going to help a great deal. And Josh Shapiro has a magnificent future in this party regardless. But it's mostly positive. You're seeing mostly enthusiasm, but there is some just quiet conversation we got to have inside this party.
Mostly quiet, but it's there.
How dedicated do you have to be to the Marxist cause if you're Shapiro? Because he is out there stumping for these two. He knows why he was passed over He's okay with
absolutely.
that?
Absolutely.
He's okay with it? It's
I mean, like, it's so obvious. It's so transparent, dude. Literally, when it was leaked out that he was going to be the VP nominee on Friday.
Yeah, because he was canceling meetings and appearances.
Right.
They were
he was backing off his support for Israel. He was taking all these. I mean, he was being very charismatic. He was totally adjusting his positions. He was the pick.
Yep.
Like he was it. And then they decided at the last second. You know what?
You know what happened?
About that Jewish American vote.
You know what happened? An article came out that uncovered his IDF service and also his article that he had written in the 90s while he was a college student that was critical of Palestine. And immediately after that, the hype for Shapiro started to peter out. And not long after that, he was out, Walls was in. And so
who ordered crusty old white socialist for 500? We need to find one.
That was a good old fashioned political hit right there. They sat on that
same
information.
Thing happened to Mark Kelly.
They sat on that information on Shapiro until it was a time for Harris to announce her pick. They let her get right up to the line. All indicators were pointing at Shapiro, and then boom, that article dropped. That's a classic hit piece that put actual truthful information out there, but it was intended to bring Shapiro down, and it did, because the Democrats cannot be exposed as supporting a pro-Israeli Jew. They just can't. So
it's so insane. These are the exact same people who try to tell you they know better than you and take your gun rights away from you.
Yep.
Come on, man.
And they want to say that they're not the party of the KKK and bigotry. And even when I pointed all this out in social media, you have the same people out there like, well, anybody ever tell you about the great party switch of the 70s? And I post right back like, okay, hey, great. I totally forgot about that. Post the names of all the people that switched parties. I'll wait here. It didn't happen.
Not to mention, like, the Democrat Party is so riddled with KKK members and racist. God, it's so bad.
I mean, it's like Biden hanging out with KKK members and Hillary Clinton
Robert
hanging
Byrd.
out with Byrd. Yeah. Her mentor. Yeah. The Grand Dragon mentor. That one.
Yep.
It's like.
Was it Grand Dragon or Ultimate Cyclops?
And somehow these overt racists who constantly get caught being overt racists still have the vote of minorities. How is that possible?
And yet you have Van Jones right here on TV with Chris Acosta going, yeah, that's marbled throughout our entire party. Oh, it's systemic now.
Yeah.
The dark side.
Of the Democrat Party.
My God. Like, this is...
They know it.
Again, I lose words when I look at the people who they are constantly courting and voting and expecting votes from. And then I look at their actions and I'm like, are you serious?
I know. How they've been pulling this ruse off my entire adult life, dude.
It really is impressive.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know where they find the support, but they do. And somehow they got, a certain segment, at least half the population convinced they're good people and they're evil Marxists, evil bigoted Marxists. What do you do? All right, folks. Hope I'll tell you what I really think in the next video. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, maybe.
Second Legacy. We'll talk to you guys soon.